Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to another video. Let's start the video.
No doubt that if you want to improve rapidly, you have to practice. Everybody say practice. Here we go. After all, practice does make perfect, right? But how do you do this and how often should you do it? Well, to begin, pulling off crazy fast building moves and quick edits aren't done because of good reaction time or speed necessarily. A lot of times they're mainly done through a process known as muscle memory. Yeah. A very small but important portion, it is done through things like reflex and reaction, and we're going to get into that later in this video, but for now, let's take a look at the key element of becoming a godly creative warrior: practice. Any of you out there that have been fans of Faceway for a long time knows that this man plays the game like it's his life. He spends hours and hours every single day practicing and becoming better at every single thing imaginable. He practices his builds, he practices his edits, he practices his free building. Oh my goodness, I can just continually go on. He even practices his competitive skills. He absolutely drills himself every single day to improve, all right? Now, let's be honest. Many of you guys actually spend hours every day playing just creative and practicing your free builds for sole purposes of improving? Probably not. And this is one of the easiest yet most effective first steps that you can take to becoming an insanely good creative warrior. Oh, and some budget crunch too. Okay, so first begin by watching some creative warriors like Faceway or LD Fortnight and pick and choose some of their favorite building and editing moves that you like. These can be cool combos, nifty building tricks that utilize things such as side jumps, well-timed maneuvers, and sharp edits. And then slow these down and attempt them in a creative lobby by yourself. The moment that you finally are able to hit the move for the first time, you're gonna begin to perfect it. One good example of learning from another creative warrior would be how Faceway almost never switches out of his build mode when he gets to edit structures. He almost always remains with his building menu out when performing edits, and then switches back to his weapon when it's time to shoot. This eliminates a whole stop of switching between build and combat mode every time that you want to make an edit, making him more efficient and versatile when switching. But more specifically, make sure that you're watching for their specific building moves and flashy tricks to learn, okay? Sure, it may take some time for you to get it right for the first time, but that's where patience comes in. But once you've been doing it, more and more consistently and with time, you're gonna become smoother, you're gonna become better, guys, and you're also gonna become faster. And eventually, you're gonna have mastered that specific move. Now, mastery is essentially being able to do a creative move almost with your eyes closed, all right? This means that your muscle memory has perfectly learned this move and that it's going to allow you to crank it out whenever you like to, really, on command. But of course, it doesn't come so easily. So here are a few tricks to help you guys master these moves faster and more efficiently. Here we go. First, make sure that you understand the basic motions of the move. Many times when you're looking at a clip, it seems like it's simple or that there's just a few things that you need to do. When it's in reality, there are a ton of different button clicks, actions, and complex maneuvers that you need to pull off in a short amount of time. So you could just figure out these little tricks, by slowing down the footage even further, or by putting lots of focus on areas where you tend to make more errors or mess it up. These will usually be where you will have made some kind of a mistake, okay? And once you've worked out all these little issues and you found the correct way to perform these moves, you're gonna begin to see significant improvement, guys, okay? The trick to being such an advanced creative warrior is really to have this level of mastery on a variety of moves and be able to chain them and just use them in the right situations, which will relate to the next part of the video. The reaction time and speed. Here we go. Speed, whew, in Fortnite, oh my goodness, it's key. And many times in creative 1v1s, you're gonna find yourself in situations where you're gonna need to pull off a fast maneuver in order to save yourself from taking damage. This doesn't actually have to be in creative too. Things like this happen in all kinds of game modes in Fortnite.
Oh, there. I'm good. Talk.
Yep, I took a lot.
But what's really tested a lot of times is the speed at which you can just bring to react, certain things happening. This is known as perception time. And then on top of all of that, what your reaction to that thing happening is, meaning that once your opponent has done something unexpected, how long would it take for you to figure out that they may have an advantage or an opportunity to do damage? And what will your reaction decision to counter this be? Not only do you have to be fast and reactive, but you also need to be smarter and make calculated moves. You can't just crank 90s or just box up in the middle of creative 1v1s where you're going for clips or the win. You need to continue to crank and style on your opponents. So how do you improve this skill set? Here we go. Well, this one is a bit different from the previous one, as you actually are going to need a partner for this one. You're going to need a friend, or really just someone that can just play with you for the next part. In order to train your reaction time and your split-second decision making, start by heading into a 1v1 lobby with the friend or opponent, and then load up a 1v1 lobby that has quick starts and preferably a reset button to just quickly break down builds. This is going to help you get back up, in 1v1s without wasting any time. Then begin running some 1v1s against your opponent. But don't play smart or just, try to outplay them using mental tricks and piece placement. But instead, try to retake high ground and create angles to shoot your opponent using the building methods and muscle memory that you practice and that you mastered from the previous tip. The more you practice and run 1v1s in ways that force you to have to rely on your mechanics, the better you're going to become at using these building tricks in game, okay? Sure, there are always going to be opportunities to low ground warrior and peak shots or edit plays, but these won't perfect your mechanics and make you creative warriors. Next up, guys, as you build, fight, and get yourself into tougher situations, you're going to start to get into positions where you're going to have to react fast and build in order to avoid taking damage from opponents. These will come naturally as you need to focus on not only acting in a split second, in order to just block off shots and close off the angle the opponent may have created, but also in a way where you can just chain it to another building move in your arsenal. The skill is one entirely different from what we just discussed, yet they're both critically important to how good of a creative warrior you are. So in order to be good at 1v1ing and just getting cool clips and strong mechanics, you're going to need to be able to be fast and smart. So you have to choose the right moves to use at the right time. But also, you're going to need to be able to do these moves perfectly, cleanly, and efficiently. Put these two together and you're going to start making yourself a creative
If you like the
warrior.
video,
Next,
then
we're gonna talk
hit
about
the
some
like
important
button,
setting
to
info
subscribe
that you're
and
going to need
comment.
to keep in mind if you want to be a good
Goodbye.
creative warrior as well. Here we go.